British vehicles in World War II were shaped by urgency and non-stop adaptation. From lightly armored early tanks to some of the most specialized machines ever built, Britain fielded an enormous range of vehicles across Europe, Africa, and Asia. We begin with the earliest tanks Britain sent into the war. The light tank Mark VI formed the backbone of British armored units in the late 1930s. It was fast and agile, mainly used for reconnaissance, but by 1940 it was completely outclassed by German armor. Alongside it came the light tank Mark VII, Tetrarch, a unique design best known for being air-portable. It was carried by glider and used by airborne forces, making it one of the most unusual tanks of the war. Britain's infantry tanks followed a very different philosophy. The infantry tank Mark I, Matilda I, was heavily armored and armed only with a machine gun. It reflected outdated thinking, but offered strong protection. That changed with the infantry tank Mark II, Matilda II, which dominated early fighting in North Africa, proving nearly immune to Italian and early German anti-tank weapons. Another workhorse was the Valentine tank, used in more variants than almost any other British design, including the Valentine Mark XI. It was reliable and widely exported, even serving as the base for several self-propelled guns. Heavy armor arrived with the Churchill tank, including variants like the Churchill NA-75. The Churchill excelled in rough terrain and close combat, earning the trust of its crews and becoming one of Britain's most iconic tanks. Cruiser tanks were designed for speed and maneuver. Early models such as the cruiser tank Mark I and cruiser tank Mark II were fast but lightly armored. The cruiser tank Mark III and Mark IV introduced Christie suspension, increasing speed but still struggling with protection. One of the most problematic designs was the A-13 Mark III Covenanter, which suffered from severe cooling issues and saw little frontline combat. It was followed by the cruiser tank Mark VI Crusader, the defining British tank of the Desert War, fast and numerous, but plagued by mechanical unreliability. Later cruiser designs attempted to fix these flaws. The cruiser tank Mark VII Cavalier, a 24, was underpowered and short-lived. The Centaur tank used a similar chassis and served mainly in training and close support roles. The Challenger tank, A-30, was Britain's attempt to mount the powerful 17-pounder gun on a cruiser platform, trading silhouette height for firepower. A true breakthrough came with the Cromwell tank, powered by the Rolls-Royce Meteor engine. It was fast and well-armed. It finally gave Britain a modern cruiser tank. Its evolution led directly to the Comet tank, armed with the high-velocity 77mm gun and widely regarded as the best British tank of the war.
Britain also transformed Allied equipment into deadly tank killers. The Sherman Firefly, a British conversion mounting the 17-pounder gun, became one of the most feared Allied tanks, capable of destroying Panthers and Tigers at long range. Self-propelled guns filled critical gaps. The Bishop SPG, built on a Valentine chassis, mounted a 25-pounder gun, but suffered from limited elevation. The Deacon SPG placed a 6-pounder anti-tank gun on an armored truck, providing mobile firepower in the desert. The Archer SPG, with its rear-facing 17-pounder gun on a Valentine chassis, allowed crews to fire and withdraw rapidly. Heavy experimental designs included the Churchill Gun Carrier, mounting a 3-inch gun for home defense. British armored cars were equally important. The Daimler Armored Car was fast, well-protected, and heavily armed for reconnaissance. The Humber Armored Car became the most widely produced British armored car of the war. Lighter vehicles included the Daimler Scout Car, Humber Scout Car, Morris Light Reconnaissance Car, and the early Guy Armored Car. Older designs, like the Lanchester Armored Car, still saw service early in the conflict, especially in the Far East. Emergency vehicles, like the standard Beaverette, reflected Britain's invasion fears.